Hey drummers, how's it going? So you have to protect your ears. It's vitally important that you take it serious. I've been drumming 20 years. I've only been protecting my ears for the last 8 to 10 years. And from what I can tell, I've had them checked, and nobody has been able to say that I've had a huge amount of hearing loss or damage done for my age. It's kind of on the average, but I know for a fact that I've definitely done some damage to my ears by not looking after them, by not wearing anything in terms of protection for my ears. So it's vitally important that you look after them. Trust me, I could be walking down the street and all of a sudden I'll hear a and then it'll go and it'll disappear. But one of these days coming up in the distant future, that could click, and then the next thing, that's what I hear, that constant ringing in my ear for the rest of my life. And it can happen to anyone. So it's really, really important that you look after your ears. So we're going to look at a few of the options that you're going to have. Some of them are very common, some of them are better than the other ones. But the most important thing to take away from this is that use something to protect your ears. It's really, really important. So let's have a look at the first one. These are the very common ones that you've seen a million times. They're the foam earplugs. Okay, so these aren't the best things that you can wear for ear protection, but you know what? They're better than nothing at all. We've all seen these before, I think. You twist the end with your thumb and forefinger, and the foam then gets really small. You put it into your ear, and then it expands. And so what that's doing is it has a nice block to take out some of the sound that goes into your ear. It doesn't give you 100% safety within your ear. You're still going to let through something, but there's a good level of protection there. So I recommend these if you're playing and practicing on your own in your room or in a practice room where you don't really need to hear other things that are going on. You're just there, you're simply practicing. The problem arises with these when you're playing live. So if you're playing live and you have these in your ear, and say the guitarist hits a certain chord or the keyboardist hits a note, you don't really hear that note. It's all muffled. For instance, if the singer is singing or talking to the crowd, you can't really hear him because everything sounds like this. It sounds like that when they're speaking to the schools. Good night, ladies and gentlemen, it's good to see you. And it just makes the whole thing not that pleasurable. So that's a huge issue that you're going to hit into, but it's way better than going up there and not having any protection whatsoever in your ears. So these are good. They're very, very cheap. You can buy bundles of them on Amazon for really, really cheap. I'll leave a link in the description. You can check that out. If I see them on a good deal, I'll put it into the description. But you're not going to get 100% coverage. And when you're playing live, it's just not as pleasurable. Okay, so next up are the ear monitors, or as I like to call them, the earphone monitors, because they're very much like the earphones that we used to use or use in your phone or in your iPod or something like that. And how they work is you have the two earphones on top, and they go into your ears obviously, and then you have the little jack that will go into the pack that you have on your side, or it'll go straight in if you have your own little mixer. These are really, really, really popular. The price range can go from these ones, which are pretty cheap. I actually was given these. They're about 70 euros, 70 bucks, something like that. And if you go for a Shure, it can be up to 250, 300. You can probably go a little bit higher for a different make. Now, I think these are quite good as the ear monitors, but I don't think they're very good for ear protection. Because it's pretty much like if you had your Apple EarPods and you put them in and you went and played the drum kit, that's pretty much the protection you're getting. It doesn't foam up inside your ear. It's not made for your ear. So when you're putting it in, you're getting an awful lot of bleed. Basically that harmful noise that's coming in, that's going in through the gaps that these earphones create. And so it's all going in there. And so what happens is you're getting the damage that's coming in, and you are still getting damage, definitely, through those little leaks. And so what everybody does is, oh, well, I'm hearing a lot of background noise, I'm just going to switch it up. And so you end up switching it up, and then the monitor then that's in your ear becomes really, really loud, thus causing even more damage. These can be really, really damaging for your ears, so you have to be very careful. Of course, if you're playing a gig where it's not very loud, it's a little low key, these could be perfect, because you know what, there's not a lot of bleed coming through, and so you don't have to switch it up, and you can have it at a right volume. just be very careful with them, because they can end up causing a bit of trouble. But I would say I think they're pretty good monitors, but not very good for hearing protection. So if you're looking to look after your ears, again, depending on the gig, these may or may not suit you. So next up, we'll talk about the ones my go-to, and I think it's the only ones if you really want to protect your ears: molded earplugs. Okay, so I can't highly recommend these enough. These are the ones that I use. It's a pleasurable experience when you're behind the drum kit playing live. And how it works is you'll go to a specialized place that does this service. You'll go into a room and they'll give you something to bite down on. You bite down and they'll squirt this gel into your ear. And the same for the other side. And they'll leave you there for about 5-7 minutes. And then they extract it out after it hardens up and send it away. And then the end result is a perfectly molded earplug for your ear with a filter. So they give you option of filters of certain dB blockage, and you literally pop it in, and you have the option of popping it out and popping in another one, depending on what kind of coverage you want. These have just been absolutely fantastic for me. I've bought maybe 3 or 4 different pairs through the life cycle of me using these. It's when the exact opposite to the foam earplugs. So when the keyboard player or the guitarist is playing a C or a certain chord, you hear it perfectly, just at a lower volume. If the singer is talking to the crowd, you can hear it just at a lower volume. It's all very crystal clear. Now, it does take a little while to get used to it, but after you've kind of gotten comfortable with it, it's really pleasurable. The downside to it is you've got to change them. They recommend every 4 to 7 years. So you're going to have to go in, get the whole process done every 4 to 7 years. I just do it every 5 years. And the reason why you have to go in, because your ear canal will change, your ear shape will change. So if you keep using them, say after 7 years, it won't fit your ear correctly. Thus, you're getting some bleed coming in, and you might get some hearing damage from it. The other bad side is it can be quite expensive. It's I've $250 for these. Every time you go in and get it done. But for me, it's worth every penny. It's a level above. It's really comfortable to play, and you know you're protecting your ears, and it really is worth it. I actually lost a pair, and a lot of people say, well, I don't want to spend that money on it because I lose a pair. If you lose it once, you'll never lose it again. I'll never forget it. I was ringing up the place I was playing. Did you find any? They didn't have a clue what I was talking about. But once you lose them once, you'll never lose them again. But if you just get into a system of putting them in a certain box and then making sure that goes back into a place where you bring that out to the car when after you've playing, they're excellent. Now, the last one I'm going to talk about is pretty much the exact same as these ones, but they've got in-ear monitors. So it's molded in-ear monitors. Now, these are, if you need to get in-ears, this is the way to go, not the other way that has the earphones in-ears. These ones are the way to go. So it's exactly the same as these. They're molded to your ear perfectly, and instead of the filter that you have on here, what they have is the area where you have your monitor. So that's where your sound will come out and go into your ear. These are excellent for playing gigs and using in-ear monitors the most safest way. What you have is you've got the molded, so nothing's coming in, you've got no bleed coming in, and you're getting the mix put into your ear perfectly. Now, if you're using these, you're at a bit more of a higher level because, well, you're going to be playing a bigger place. Generally, you'll have an engineer. It goes hand in hand. So if you're at this level where you need to get these, you're going to be told that you have to get them, or you already have them and you're playing with those kind of people that play to a full production. But they are excellent way, the only proper way of really putting an in-ear monitor properly into your ear, and they're a joy to play with. So that's pretty much all my recommendations. Whatever you do, any of them give some level of protection. So make sure that you just protect your ears. It's very important. Now I'm waiting to hear the guys and girls in the comments. I've been drumming 30 years, never had any hearing damage. You've been lucky. But trust me, anybody else out there, protect your ears in some way. Let me know down in the comment section what you think of this. If I missed anything out, what kind of hearing protection do you use? Help people out, because, tell your story down there, because we need to make sure that everybody looks after your ears, because It's serious business. I'll leave any links from stuff I can find on Amazon down in the description here. Have a look down there for the foam ones, or the in-ears, or not the in-ears, the earphones. And look, I'll see you next week for a brand new video. Take it easy, guys. Have a good one. Bye-bye.
Guys, hit me up on Instagram, Facebook and Twitter. And if you like what you've seen here today, you can see a lot more videos. Just click on any of them here on the screen.